Imagine walking into the open jaws of a creature that could kill you instantly. No hesitation, no fear, just absolute trust that those razor-sharp teeth won't close. Across the natural world, animals perform death-defying acts of cooperation with creatures that should be their enemies. A tiny bird enters a crocodile's mouth to clean its teeth while the predator remains motionless. Clownfish shelter in venomous tentacles that would kill any other fish in seconds. Bees deliver pollen to flowers in exchange for nectar, sustaining entire ecosystems through this partnership. But here's the question that haunts evolutionary biologists. How did mortal enemies learn to trust each other? Welcome to the hidden mathematics of cooperation, where evolution solved one of humanity's oldest problems millions of years before we even existed. The myth and the mystery. For generations, one image has captivated our imagination about cooperation in the animal kingdom. The Egyptian plover bird, small and vulnerable, walks fearlessly into the gaping jaws of a crocodile. The massive reptile lies motionless with its mouth wide open, exposing rows of deadly teeth. The tiny bird hops inside, pecking away food particles stuck between those formidable weapons of death. When finished, the bird simply flies away while the crocodile closes its jaws, satisfied and clean. This story has been told in biology classrooms, nature documentaries, and textbooks for over a century. It represents mutualism, a biological relationship where two different species benefit from cooperating with each other. The crocodile receives dental hygiene it cannot perform alone, while the bird gets an easy meal. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn that challenges everything we thought we knew. Despite being called the crocodile bird, no scientist has ever documented this behavior in the wild. The famous tale traces back to ancient Greek historian Herodotus, who described it over 2,000 years ago. Modern researchers have searched extensively for evidence of plovers actually cleaning crocodile teeth. They found nothing. No photographs, no video footage, no peer-reviewed observations confirming the interaction. The relationship that symbolizes cooperation in nature textbooks worldwide appears to be a myth. Yet the broader principle behind the story remains absolutely real and scientifically documented everywhere. Mutualistic relationships exist throughout nature in countless forms we can actually observe and measure. Birds do clean other large animals. Oxpeckers remove parasites from buffalo, zebras, and rhinoceros. Cleaner fish establish stations on coral reefs where larger fish line up for parasite removal. So while the specific plover crocodile story may be folklore, the concept it represents is fundamentally sound. The real question isn't whether mutualism exists, it's how such seemingly impossible cooperation could evolve. The ultimate dilemma. To understand how cooperation evolves, we must first examine a scenario that reveals human psychology. Imagine you and your accomplice Gregory have just been arrested after attempting to rob a bank. Police separate you into different interrogation rooms where you cannot communicate or coordinate your stories. A detective enters your room and presents you with an offer that will determine your fate. If you confess and testify against Gregory, you'll walk free while he serves 10 years in prison. However, Gregory is receiving the exact same offer in the other room at this very moment. If both of you betray each other by confessing, you'll each serve 6 years behind bars. But if both of you refuse to confess and stay silent, you'll each serve only 1 year. The catch? You have no idea what Gregory will choose, and you cannot communicate with him. If you stay silent while Gregory betrays you, you'll serve the full 10 years alone. This scenario, known as the prisoner's dilemma, has fascinated mathematicians and philosophers for decades. It represents a fundamental conflict between self-interest and mutual benefit that appears everywhere in life. Game theory, the mathematics of strategic decision-making, uses this model to predict behavior in competitive situations. Evolutionary biologists realized this same mathematical framework applies to how animals interact with each other. The prisoner's dilemma doesn't just explain human psychology, it reveals the hidden mathematics of cooperation. When you eliminate communication and trust, the rational choice appears to be betrayal every single time. Confessing protects you from the worst outcome while giving you a chance at the best outcome. Yet cooperation, staying silent together, produces the best combined result for both prisoners overall. This tension between individual rationality and collective benefit drives countless situations in nature. So how did animals evolve to cooperate when betrayal seems mathematically superior as a strategy? The mathematics of trust. In 1981, two researchers named Robert Axelrod and William Hamilton revolutionized our understanding. They created computer simulations pitting different strategies against each other in repeated prisoners' dilemma scenarios. Dozens of complex strategies competed, each trying to maximize its own success over multiple rounds. The winning strategy shocked everyone because of its elegant simplicity. It was called tit for tat. This strategy follows just two rules that a child could understand, but that evolution discovered first. Rule 1. Always cooperate on the first interaction with a new partner, giving them the benefit. Rule 2. In every subsequent interaction, simply copy whatever your partner did in the previous round. If they cooperated, you cooperate back. If they betrayed you, you betray them the next time. This creates immediate consequences for betrayal, while rewarding cooperation with continued mutual benefit over time. Tit for tat dominated more sophisticated strategies because it combined forgiveness, retaliation, and clarity. It never betrays first, making it nice and preventing unnecessary conflicts from starting. It immediately punishes betrayal, making it retaliatory and preventing others from exploiting it repeatedly. It returns to cooperation after just one retaliatory strike, making it forgiving and allowing relationships to recover. Most importantly, it's completely transparent. Partners quickly learn that cooperation will be rewarded and betrayal punished. Mathematical modeling proves that when the prisoner's dilemma repeats indefinitely, tit for tat becomes unbeatable. Two tit for tat strategists cooperating create more benefit for both than any other combination. Over millions of years, natural selection favored animals that followed this mathematically optimal cooperation strategy. Individuals who always betrayed or always cooperated indiscriminately died out, weeded from the gene pool. Those who learned to reciprocate, cooperating with cooperators and punishing cheaters, survived and reproduced successfully. This mathematical principle explains how trust evolved without consciousness, contracts, or verbal agreements between species. Cooperation in the wild. The tit-for-tat strategy manifests throughout nature in partnerships that seem impossible without understanding. Consider the clownfish dwelling among the tentacles of sea anemones in tropical coral reefs. Those tentacles contain venomous cells called nematocysts that inject toxins, paralyzing most fish on contact. Yet clownfish swim freely through this deadly barrier, immune through mucus coating their scales. The anemone provides protection from predators, while the clownfish defends it from butterfly fish that eat anemones. Both species cooperate because betrayal would eliminate benefits both have come to depend upon. In tropical forests, acacia trees produce hollow thorns and protein-rich structures called Beltian bodies. Acacia ants live inside those thorns, feeding on the Beltian bodies the tree produces specifically for them. In exchange, the ants viciously attack any herbivore attempting to eat the tree's leaves. They even clear away competing vegetation around the tree's base, giving their host competitive advantage. This cooperation evolved through tit-for-tat dynamics repeated over countless generations. Trees that failed to feed the ants received no protection. Ants that failed to defend lost their home. Flowers and pollinators demonstrate perhaps the most economically important mutualism on our entire planet. Bees collect nectar and pollen from flowers, receiving high-energy food essential for colony survival. While feeding, pollen sticks to their fuzzy bodies and transfers to the next flower they visit. This pollination enables plant reproduction, making the partnership essential for both species survival. Approximately 85% of flowering plant species depend on animal pollinators for reproduction. Without this cooperation, global food systems would collapse as most crops require pollination services. Some partnerships reach extraordinary levels of sophistication bordering on domestication by non-human species. Leafcutter ants cultivate underground fungus gardens, protecting them from diseases and harvesting them for food. They've developed antibiotic-producing bacteria that control specific fungal diseases threatening their crops. Certain species of ants tend aphids like livestock, protecting them from predators in exchange for honeydew. The ants stroke the aphids with their antennae, stimulating them to secrete sugar-rich honeydew droplets. This behavior mirrors human agriculture, emerging through evolutionary dynamics operating over millions of years. The limits of cooperation. If tit for tat is mathematically optimal, why doesn't cooperation dominate every interaction in nature? Why do predators still hunt prey, parasites exploit hosts, and competition drives survival of the fittest? The answer lies in understanding when the prisoner's dilemma framework applies and when it breaks down. Cooperation evolves when interactions repeat indefinitely between identifiable individuals who remember past encounters. If you'll never see your partner again, betrayal becomes rational since there's no future retaliation. Predator-prey relationships rarely benefit from cooperation because the predator needs the prey's death for survival. A lion cannot cooperate with a zebra in any meaningful way since it requires zebra meat. The zebra gains nothing from being eaten, so no mutual benefit can possibly emerge from cooperation. Parasites face similar constraints. They benefit from exploiting hosts, but hosts gain nothing from parasitism. Some parasites evolve toward less harmful relationships, but this occurs through different evolutionary dynamics. Anonymous interactions also prevent cooperation from evolving because individuals cannot learn partner reputations. If you cannot identify who betrayed you previously, punishment becomes impossible and betrayal goes unchecked. Population size matters too. In huge anonymous groups, defectors can exploit cooperators then disappear into crowds. Environmental unpredictability can also undermine cooperation if future interactions become too uncertain to matter. Yet within the constraints where tit for tat applies, cooperation evolves with mathematical inevitability. Natural selection doesn't require consciousness, morality, or intelligent decision-making to produce cooperative behavior. Simple rules, cooperate first, then reciprocate, create sophisticated partnerships when survival depends on repeated interactions. Evolution discovered game theory's optimal strategy millions of years before mathematicians formalized the mathematics. The trust we observe in nature isn't mystical or magical. It's mathematics encoded in genes. The human connection. Humans evolved under these same mathematical constraints, developing cooperation through tit-for-tat dynamics. Small hunter-gatherer groups consisted of individuals who interacted repeatedly over entire lifetimes. Reputation mattered enormously because betraying a partner meant everyone would learn and retaliate socially. Those who cooperated reliably gained allies, mates, and survival advantages in harsh, prehistoric environments. Cheaters faced ostracism, violence, or death. Powerful selection pressure favoring genetically encoded cooperative instincts. Modern humans still carry these ancient algorithms, feeling moral intuitions that reflect evolutionary game theory. We instinctively trust those who cooperate and feel anger toward betrayers seeking punishment and justice. These emotions aren't arbitrary. They're mathematical strategies evolution programmed into our psychology for survival. Understanding this connection reveals why cooperation feels right and betrayal feels wrong so universally. We're not separate from nature's mathematics. We're its most sophisticated expression of cooperative evolution. The story of the plover and crocodile may be myth, but the truth it represents is more profound than fiction. Evolution solved the prisoner's dilemma through mathematics, not morality, creating cooperation through simple reciprocal strategies. From bees and flowers to ants and fungi, nature demonstrates that trust emerges from repeated interactions and consistent consequences. Humanity inherited these same mathematical instincts, building entire civilizations on cooperation that began in hunter-gatherer bands. The partnerships we observe throughout nature aren't miracles. They're mathematics in action, proving that cooperation isn't just possible, it's inevitable when conditions align.